64 squares in one, sewing perfect squares every time. To complete this project, you will need 64 squares of fabric, iron-on interfacing with grid, thread, scissors, iron and ironing board, and sewing machine. Lay out your squares so that you have 8 rows and 8 columns. It is really important to make sure that each square is lined up. When pressing, lift the iron up and down. Do not move it back and forth. Make sure to press each section really well. Check to make sure each square is stuck to the interfacing. Fold row 1 so it touches row 2. Place pins every 1 to 2 inches. Use your thumb as a guide. Sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Make sure you backstitch when you start and stop. Continue pinning and sewing until all the rows are sewn. This is what your block should look like at this point. Iron each row so that all the seams go the same direction. Ironing is moving the iron back and forth over the fabric. Clip each seam. Do not cut through the stitching. Make sure you clip every seam. Fold column A so it touches column B, pin seam. Make sure the seams go in opposite directions and put a pin in each seam. Sew a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Make sure you backstitch when you start and stop. Make sure you pin and sew the rest of the columns. The sewing is complete. Let's iron the columns now. Make sure you iron all your columns. You have now finished one quilt block. Make 29 more for a throw blanket.